The political reality is finally catching up to Joe Biden. Even far left Democrats in big cities are sick of illegal immigrants taking away their resources and Americans being treated like second-class citizens. I have some headlines to show you to expose the hypocrisy of the left and to show that Joe Biden is panicking. The Democrats are panicking because what they've done is most likely going to lose Joe Biden the election. Before we get started, I'm David with Americans for Limited Government. If you believe in the U.S. Constitution, if you believe in small government and more freedom for individuals, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and follow. Okay, let's jump into this first video. I've got quite a bit for you. This is Biden saying, oh, we've got to reappropriate funds for the border wall, but we don't believe it works. He says, I don't believe it works. Well, why are you going to have a border wall, Biden, if you don't believe it works? Maybe because you realize you've created a political disaster for yourself. Let's watch this.
I'll answer one question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No. Okay.
No. Yeah. Yep, there you go. He says he doesn't believe it works, but they're literally suspending 24 federal laws to resume the border wall. And these are laws dealing with the environment that the Biden administration mostly passed, most of those laws. And they're actually going ahead and deporting illegals from Venezuela.
The Biden administration once again starting to deport migrants back to Venezuela. It's an attempt to cut down on the number of unlawful crossings along the southern border. Venezuelan migrants have been coming into the United States in record numbers in recent weeks. U.S. has not deported Venezuelan citizens for years because of its strained relations with the country's socialist government. But federal officials today saying they will send back Venezuelans who enter the country unlawfully.
Well, there you go. Again, this is just what happens when you flood a country with citizens that don't belong here and you don't take action. And this is cities like Chicago, New York, maybe some cities in California where you have a stronghold of Democrat voters. They are furious. This is what made Joe Biden and his administration change their mind.
We have several new
like people like this.
Chicago's migrant crisis. Tempers flared at a community meeting in Austin over plans to move migrants into the Amundsen Park Fieldhouse. It was standing room only tonight as neighbors expressed their concerns about crime, safety, and resources. They say they're not against immigration, but they don't want to give up their park and their fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Now they're taking away an asset that people worked 30 years. My buddy worked years to put together programs that they're taking away from us, black people.
Our cameras were there as another bus of migrants from the southern border arrived in Chicago, one of 10 buses expected today. Governor Pritzker has asked the federal government for more funding for migrant care.
There you go. More funding because they're destroying the city. And here you go. Here's Newsweek. I'm really surprised at this headline by Newsweek. Mugged by reality, Biden builds a border wall Democrats called racist. They're having to backtrack. They use this rhetoric against Trump just to demonize him so he would, another reason for them to be virtuous and to virtue signal. But the point is, the hypocrisy is showing up. Biden's being accused of being hypocritical. And here's why. I'm going to show you a few pieces of where Democrats accused Trump of being racist because he's building a wall. Trump's border wall was never just about security. It's meant to remind all Latinos that we're unwelcome. Not true at all. Use the front door, not the back door. Latinos, every ethnicity is welcome in America. Just use the front door. This isn't a border wall. It's a monument to white supremacy, said Bloomberg on January 16th, 2019. What you got to remember is they're going to gaslight you. They're going to say that this was Biden's idea all along and that immigration was Trump's fault. They're going to try to make you forget these headlines. But let me skip back to this. This is NBC News. NBC News with a piece that says it's meant to remind Latinos we're unwelcome. This was December 28th, 2018. This Bloomberg piece, again, January 16th, 2019. CNN, why Trump's border wall is not just a wall. January 22nd, 2019. Here we have liberationnews.org. This is April 2nd, 2023. Texas's racist border wall continues. Resistance is still growing. These people have the audacity to say that national borders are racist. There's been no nation in the history of the world that's withstood an invasion, prolonged, and survived. It just doesn't work. Now, one could argue this is too dilute. They want to give these illegal immigrants an unfair fast track to become legal citizens, so they'll vote for Democrats. That's one theory, right? If you can't get the votes from the people that live in your country, import the votes. Another argument is that, well, we need cheap labor, so we're just going to keep importing people that'll work for pennies on the dollar. Either way, this is harming the U.S. citizens. And the Democrats have been selfish to do this. Trump says if he's reelected, he's going to start the biggest mass deportation of all history, of all U.S. history. So we'll see how that goes. But don't be fooled by the left when they start gaslighting you. We have the proof. We have the headlines where they call the border wall racist, and now Biden has to build the border wall. Only because it's a political disaster and Democrats are turning against Joe Biden. Hey, again, if you enjoyed this, hit thumbs up, subscribe, follow. We got some great videos coming up for you, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.